Silly rabbit. I hate to tell you, but I'm Native American and not an imported Indian from India. We were here first. It's our land. Say it isn't so. Whites and blacks and every other color and nationality came later. Study. Is that right? Let's get into it, y'all. You sure you want to do this, Miss Lady? There's a huge difference between a Native American and an Indigenous person. Okay. Even Caucasians are native here. Even Hispanics are native here. Even a person whose roots are from Africa and their parents come here and they give birth, guess what? Their children and their children's children will be native. Anyone who comes here to America and they settle and they have children, their children are natives. Okay? Now, Indigenous people were here before all of the natives came. Okay? This is why they called you people Native Americans and not Indigenous people. Exhibit A. Your people came over a land bridge to North America and from Siberia and also from Mongolia as well. And you guys became, you see this? Became Native Americans, okay, of North America. The Americas, period. Because people like you are represented all throughout the Americas. And this right here is about all of you. But prior to y'all coming, like it says, when Christopher Columbus came, guess what? The truth is that there were already societies and cultures and people with religion that had complex societies that were already here years prior to your people coming over on a land bridge. Imagine that. And those of you who had ancestors that did not come over the land bridge, guess what? You are a result of the Europeans raping indigenous so-called black women. Raping the indigenous people. You people are just a product of that. People who look like you that are light-skinned are not the original people anywhere on this earth. The true indigenous people on this earth are my complexion, lighter and darker, not your skin complexion. We can't come from people who look like you. Dark-skinned people cannot come from pale-skinned people. It's the other way around. So we were actually here first. According to science, these folks right here are actually a genetic mutation, like an oops, an ouch, not supposed to be, not supposed to have happened. Imagine a world where everyone had brown skin tens of thousands of years ago. And what does it say? That was the case. This is what scientists say. That's not what I said. This is what the scientists say. You all came later, much later. More scientific evidence suggests that it's been known for years that all non-Africans or indigenous people, I like to say, because this whole out of Africa theory is also a lie. They descended from a small group, perhaps only a few dozen individuals who left the continent that they're talking about is actually the caves of the Denisovan and the Caucasus Mountains, because that's actually where they came from, not an actual continent. So who do you think was already here prior to that? You guessed it right. People who look like me were here much longer than that, We existed far longer. In fact, science, biology states that people with lighter skin are far genetically weaker than people with the existence of melanin, heavy melanin, 9-ether beings. The study also suggests that lighter skinned people are far less diverse than the so-called black compatriots. Why is that? It's because so-called black women carry the Eve gene, and we are capable of being able to make all different types of races and the variation of those races, meaning different eye colors, skin complexions, hair textures, and things of that nature. We are the only people on this earth who can do that. So how is it that you people were here before us? You can't even do that. You are part of the people that science and biology is talking about here. Let's be clear. And despite all of the reports that you hear in the news about the so-called black people being predisposed to this illness and that illness and everything, it's because all of those illnesses are created through the food and everything that they give us to eat and the things that they put in the food. According to biology, they're saying that mutation of Anglo-Saxons, of the fair-skinned people, is actually quite harmful. There's harmful mutations that are a result of this. Let's talk about the mutation of people being born with tails. Us darker skinned people aren't born with tails. That's you lighter skinned people, because y'all came out of the Caucasus Mountains and y'all were Neanderthals. You come from Neanderthal. That Neanderthal gene was mostly bred out by mating with people who look like me, indigenous people on the earth. More biological evidence proves that lighter skin is quite recessive. People with heavy melanin, which we are called 9-ether beings, we actually are more dominant. You see this on the bottom? We're more dominant than you. So again, how can you people have been here first? There's no way. So let's talk about this genetic diversity. So according to scientists, biologists, it clearly stated that the Anglo-Saxons are far less diverse. Now brace yourself, darling. Native Americans show even far less genetic diversity How anyone of pale skin or the indigenous people, I'm gonna need you to pick your job off the floor, darling. Pick it up. Huh? As I stated earlier, my people were here first. We are the true indigenous people here in the Americas. Make no mistake about that. And so they were trying to teach the Cherokee people English. Huh? Those people that came over here and colonized us and ruined our language and stole our culture and our heritage and everything else. See, this was in Oklahoma, where the Trail of Tears follows these people. They made signs for them. Okay, you gonna learn our language, which is English, their language. You know what I'm saying? Ours, the dominant language, is on top. So this is one of the stop signs, no less, of which is English, their language. You know what I'm saying? Ours, the dominant language, people that are indoctrinated into. And to also corroborate their false version of history, their tribe to understand what the road signs are saying so they can drive. Now, this is something that was just recently proposed, as you can see here, in July 16, 2024. So, this just happened recently. Somebody please tell me why they would need signs like this in this day and age if these people... the English equivalent for that word. Why would there be a need for a dual language stop sign if this place belonged to them, the people who came over here from Britain, and they spoke English? Make it make sense. This is proof that we spoke other languages before English was the dominant language. And say it isn't so, because one of these people from Siberia, Mongolia, whichever one it is, from the Narragansett Indian tribe, Native American tribe, is proposing that they have signs written in 2 different languages for those people in their tribe to understand what the road signs are saying so they can drive. Now, this is something that was just recently proposed, as you can see here, in July 16, 2024. So, this just happened recently. Somebody please tell me why they would need signs like this in this day and age if these people have been here in the Americas the entire time. This is proof that there's more immigrants that they have allowed to come in here, and they do not speak the English language, which is now the current language that is spoken in these parts. This is what they do for the language that they want to impose upon people, or that people that are indoctrinated into. And to also corroborate their false version of history. And so they were trying to teach the Cherokee people English. Huh? Those people that came over here and colonized us and ruined our language and stole our culture and our heritage and everything else. See, this was in Oklahoma, where the Trail of Tears follows these people. They made signs for them. Okay, you gonna learn our language, which is English, their language. You know what I'm saying? Ours, the dominant language, is on top. So this is one of the stop signs, no less, of proving that, this was one of the dominant languages in America. And to also corroborate their false version of history, all of this may appear to be not a big deal to you, but it really is, because essentially it pushes us out of our land. It pulls us further away from this being our land and it being the land of other peoples. No different than the Pan-African movement that is saying that we're essentially not from here, we're foreigners here, and we're really from Africa. Common sense tells you the reason why they wiped out our languages, heritage, culture, and all that. Because had it been intact, then we would be able to say, hey, we belong to the blah, blah, blah tribe in Africa. But for the simple fact that they wiped it out and we can't do that, it proves that we're actually not from that stock over there. That we're from a whole completely different people, tribe, tongue, Indigenous family strong, knowing who you are, despite the fact that these people want to say that because we don't speak our mother tongues, that we're not the Indigenous people here in the Americas. Well, guess what? We don't speak any of the African languages either. It still makes us Africans, nor do we know any of the culture. In time, the truth will be revealed. Yes, you are right, sister. English is the only language that the majority of our people knew. But I'm about to show y'all something new that no one else has ever posted.